My apologies. I just got done laying down some serious pipe. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so lonely. Yo, what's up and welcome back. Yes, back, of course, Sage as Reach. As always, I'm Angel, and today I wanted to sort of touch on a couple things at once. First of all, things have been going really well for me. It looks very much so not like that because of the, of course, always signature bedhead and a wrinkly shirt, commonly uh, viewed upon uh dirty background, like stuff everywhere. I mean, my shoes are typically always there. That's kind of not really dirty, but I mean, they take up space and they look full, so it's kind of dirty in a way if it's not matching the feng shui vocab word of the day. Feng shui meaning sort of like the atmosphere, the vibe, the energy around a certain area, ideally like a room or something. But I mean, the feng shui of your bathroom is important too. I mean, you don't want to shit somewhere that feels like you're being watched. You know what I mean? Okay, so all that being said, I wanted to say that things have been really looking up right now. And again, it might not seem that way because of like the wrinkly shirt and the messy background and stuff. But um, I wanted to touch on the idea of freedom and just like uh being busy and life, dude. So let me start really quickly with I'm feeling good. I have been feeling good the past couple days, weeks. I won't say months. I don't think I was feeling this good like mid February and mid January and stuff. Even though like mid January was my birthday and like February was a pretty dope month, it wasn't this high up. The last couple weeks, days, I've been feeling really high up. Just yesterday, I went to the mall with a friend of mine. Really, well, my best friend. Let me stop playing like that, Neo. Come on, let's be for real. Neo, I went to the mall with my homie Neo. We got him some AirPods. We got me some pants, and then we had the OM cheeseburger from Applebee's, which is a super phenomenal burger. Not ridiculous to say it might be top one burgers out right now. And you know what? You can go ahead and try it and like, let me know if you think otherwise in the comments. What's your favorite burger? Matter of fact, like, subscribe, hit that bell so that you're notified when these videos are happening and you're actually a part of this. I want to say community. It's just us three up in this bitch, really. But yeah, what's your favorite burger? Because I tried the Applebee's OM cheeseburger and like, I mean, I've had some really like incredible moments and memories attached to some like homemade burgers and like events that I've gone to like in restaurants and stuff that have had like looming overarching like effects on me. you know so like really intimidating dinners I went to when I was younger, that like I associate those like burgers and stuff with in my head, but like really taste wise, that's probably one of the best burgers I've ever had, if not the best one I've ever had. So like Applebee's cheeseburger, give it a try. It's been out for like a month now. Whatever. Okay, sponsored part of the video is over. Ad over. No, but really, I was doing that yesterday, and that was a fantastic way to spend like my first day off. I've got today and tomorrow off, and so tomorrow I'm definitely going to the gym because today I woke up really late, and I've just been like playing Mugenics and listening to a bunch of podcasts and re-listening to some music, and it's been such a chill day that like I'm really like on a high right now. So like I really enjoyed my first day off after work. And then, sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's constantly somebody like going 100,000 miles over the speed limit, or somebody dying in an ambulance, or some fire going off a few blocks away from here. So you're gonna always hear that. But so yesterday was an amazing day. Today was super fantastic and relaxing as well. Like I went out in the morning because the temperature is just so good. I went out, I bought milk, I bought breakfast. I just like enjoy the sunlight. It was super fantastic. It's really easy to rot away in bed. I know I say this like all the time, but it really is easy to rot away in bed and make it a consistent habit to just stay comfortably still and not like progress or do anything. And like in the wide scheme of life and stuff, that's obviously crazy, but also just like day to day, staying in and not going out and not doing anything. Even like getting to your desktop is low key something, honestly. Like people who just game all day, like even that's something to do. Like you don't understand. Like sometimes, and I don't want to like self-diagnose and say that I'm depressed or something, but sometimes when it gets really that deep, even getting to my desktop and playing video games with my friends, which isn't that much of an like exertion of energy, feels like too much. Like sometimes you get to a point where, and I'll be blunt here and put it like, it gets to a point where the depression in your life or the like lack of energy and the lack of motivation and drive that you have in your life just isn't enough, you know? And people will hit you with like, you sure you just can't come out for like just tonight? Or are you sure you just can't call? Or are you sure you just can't hop on games? Or are you sure you don't want to even join the voice chat for like a few minutes or join the call or whatever for a few minutes? Like, are you really that tired? And yeah, you really are that tired. And or not even tired, but just out of it or gone. And so it really, like, I've been reflecting on it because my life has been super good and positive, and like I've been feeling fantastic as of late, and I can't help but just think of the other side of the negative of it, and like when I've been at my lowest and the most depressed I've been in my life. And um there's this phrase called you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's something along the lines of that. But the message essentially means like you can steer a horse, you can make it go wherever, but like if it's not thirsty, it's not gonna drink. So like there's only so much stuff that you have control in your life, and so it's like oftentimes used as like a mentor or somebody trying to get somebody that's hard headed or stubborn to do something. And I remember specifically it being used in middle school when I was in, I want to say, eighth grade English. Um, Shout out to the my English teacher. I'll just use homie's first name, Anthony. You know, bro's last name. Shout out the gang, F gang. I'm not gonna go any further. That's actually not like a real gang. Come on, let's not act like I'm gang related. I am sweet as sugar and soft as butter. I cannot start any problems. But yeah. If you know, you know. But yeah, I remember that teacher telling me that I had an incredible amount of um potential. Yeah, he told me I was incredible. I was a fantastic student and I had a lot of potential, but I just didn't do the work and I just didn't ultimately get there. Like he saw how smart I was, and maybe this was like a training tactic. Obviously, I won't, rule that out. I'm sure he gave that speech to a lot of middle schoolers to get them to apply themselves. But I mean, I guess I naively, in a way, understand that I procrastinate a lot, and I don't put my best foot forward all the time. Sorry, I just have to look for it. But yeah, I don't put my best foot forward all the time, and so like the phrase like you can lead a horse to water is very much so understandable. So that applies to like kind of my day-to-day life nowadays, where it's like I can be in a perfect position to like I have a day off. I don't have to work like either tomorrow or the next couple days. Like I have like money to go to take the train to the gym, and like I don't have like an event scheduled, or I don't have like something that I have to do or plans or anything like that. Like I will have all that to my advantage and I will still not go to the gym. And it really is just like you really have to understand that like discipline is an incredibly important aspect of your life, because like I mean it's those certain limitations that get you to where like you are today. I had a conversation not too long ago with somebody at the wine shop, actually funnily enough a cartoonist, that was talking that was having a discussion with me about SpongeBob, like earlier SpongeBob episodes, the earlier animation, the like earlier style and cartoon, the cartoony aspects of it. And what we sort of came to an agreement upon was the idea of the uh, the limited animation and technology that they had, really providing them like a sort of outline to what they can do, and they were almost in a way free to go out of it as long as it made sense to the bigger picture of the show that was ultimately coming out, or what they sort of wanted to deliver as a message. And it's really incredible when you think of the fact that like when you get put into a box, not only does it make you not only do you become the box, but can you sort of like exist around it. You know what I mean? It's like um, it seems stupid to say out loud, but like once you create these limitations for yourself in your head, they really do become real, and you can step around them or stay inside them and play it safe. And um, the power of the mind is incredible, like really uh insane, and it works oftentimes against people's will because like they just don't again have that like discipline or can't really uh realize or understand or come to terms with the fact that like they really are in control of their lives. And um it's really easy to put off something and wait until it happens, but it's much more satisfying to really make it happen yourself, you know what I mean? Like it's great to be a part of a movement, but it's great to start one. And like it's fantastic to be a part of a tradition and continue a tradition, but it's an incredible feeling to start a tradition and like make something worth it and make an event the event that it is, or make it the occasion that it is, or make it the stamp in time that it is. And um I have just been on such a high that like I have also sort of found it hard to believe. I kind of can't believe that I'm as happy and my life is going as positive as it is right now. And granted, that's all relative. You know, people will be like, "All right, cool. So how much are you making a year? Oh, where do you live? Oh, okay, where you know what I mean?" And that's always going to be something that you can really struggle with. And I'm saying you like you guys are in the same position as me, but like those are always questions you're gonna have as long as you're alive. Is like how satisfied are you in your position, or like, oh yeah, you think you're good. How good are you? And I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is my self defense way of like getting you guys off my back or whatever. Whoever is watching this, or you know what I mean. But it's like, I don't know, dude. Satisfaction is so relative to like where you are right now. And it kind of sucks because like you have to think long term, and you have to think like realistically, like where are you going to be in a couple years from now, and will you still be living this life and stuff. And a lot of people are pretty realistic and are like being in the same spot for a lot of time isn't, you know, gonna be safe in the long run. And that's completely true, but I think I've just been so all right, you know what I mean? And like I constantly am like thinking of taking the next step, but like it's just so comfortable where I'm at right now. And I don't have to explain this to you guys, but I am thinking of taking further steps and not staying in the job I am right now and continuing that. But like I think that like I just wanted to talk about the fact that like I'm happy and stuff right now. Like I'm happy in the position that I'm in. And like I know other people in job positions that have been there for like multiple years as well, that are like are super good right now. And like um money up or money down, they're just like they're continuing, they're living. And that's like I feel great for them. And again, I'm like I guess I'm like trying to stick to the devil's advocate thing and being like, maybe just surviving isn't what you should aim for. And it's like, yeah, obviously, man, like of course we're not just trying to just survive, but I mean like, yeah, I mean that's sometimes all we can do. And then sometimes that's not all we can do. We can do a little bit more. And it's like you don't have to just squeak by. It's just like a constant cycle of like what or like where are you right now. And it's fantastic to always look forward, but it's always just like it's not bad to look at where you're at right now and tell yourself you're good. That being said, I've been in the same position for too long. I gotta lock back into the gym. I haven't gone in a month. The last time I went, okay, the last time I went was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that. And I felt really good, and I was sore, and I stopped going because some dude, um, I was in front of him, and I was unaware, and he was like really loud and scared me, and he was like, "Come on, man, get the fuck out of the way," and that made me also not kind of want to go. But also the thing that I said about my grandma being here and like me sort of being satisfied with my life and stuff and feeling sort of complete was also true. I kind of didn't really have the motivation to keep going to the gym and stuff. I was really sort of happy with like life as it was at home and stuff. So like that complacentness really does get in the way a lot of the time. And sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's great to just like stop stressing yourself out and be complacent and settle for something less. But sometimes it's just like you can't just stand there, dude. Like the crosswalk, like the light is changed like 6 times. And if you claim you want to get somewhere, like you got to get there now. If you're already on the block you got to be at, then by all means, you know what I mean, stay there as long as you want, enjoy the view. It's a beautiful weather today. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful weather. I meant to say there's beautiful weather today, but let's not get into that. Um, yeah. I've been enjoying my life a lot. Let me talk about two little things really quickly before I get out of here. But um, yeah. One was I did my laundry the other day. I might have mentioned this in the video. It just feels like something I might have mentioned already because um, it's just something I've been thinking about a lot. But the other day when it was snowing, or when it had snowed, I was doing my laundry and I was going one way towards the laundromat, or like I was taking one route to the laundromat, but there was a lot of cars crossing, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to the more snowed in route, even though like it's gonna be so inconvenient. And I was pushing my cart to the laundromat and kicking the snow around, and I found $20 on the floor, and that was incredible. I was so lucky, and I like to consider myself a lucky person. I've already mentioned it on the channel. I think I was born with like luck 100 and everything else, like it's awful stats, like everything bad. But I thought that was fantastic. But then after that, oh my gosh, another topic I want to talk about that I would like touch on, but I went to go see The Bride, the Christian Bale and Jesse Buckley movie about the Bride of Frankenstein, or I guess the sequel towards Frankenstein's monster, and that story adjacent. So I went to go see that movie after my last day of the work week, and on the train on my way out of the train station, I saw $7 on the floor. And I mean, it's not common to find like bills on the floor in New York City because a lot of people just snatch that up immediately, unless it's got like shit marks or something on it. You know what I mean? Or or like clearly fake money, or like really paper. Or like, even then, I think people would take fake bills just because like, you know, I mean, you never know where people are at mentally. But also, I mean, like I think I'd take a fake bill. I'd just be like, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like if it says motion picture money, it's a fake Benjamin Franklin. I might just be like, yo, that's cool. I might just keep that in my wallet, just save it for a rainy day. Who knows? But yeah, it's not too common to find money on the floor. So like when I found those $7, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like just the other week or two, I found like $20 on the floor doing laundry on like a route that I wasn't even supposed to take. So now this last minute decision to watch a late night movie, because I get out at like 9. So like I didn't think there was gonna be anybody to watch a like 10 o'clock movie with me. And also the Regal cinemas that I was at in 14th Street wasn't playing too many movies, especially ones that I was into. Like they had like, I'm sorry, Rachel McAdams, sorry, Dylan O'Brien, but Send Help does not look up my alley. I think I will give it a chance, but I mean, that didn't look up my alley. The movie starring Glenn Powell doesn't look awfully interesting to me, and there was like some other movie like Scream 7 and stuff didn't look too interesting to me, and I was just like, you know what, I know Christian Bale, like this will at the very least add to the repertoire of like his performances, and I can judge even more of his performances on like slightly bigger scale now, and like have one more piece of work and role to compare himself to other like roles to. And so I was like, you know what, I'll watch it. I've read Frankenstein. I think it's a brilliant book. I think Mary Shelley is fantastic. I think she's brilliant. I low-key think they did her a bit dirty here, but I mean yeah, honestly, you know what? It came out in Women's Month, so that makes a lot of sense. Why the idea of like feminism and womanhood is drilled insanely into it, but it's a beautiful fucking film that I decided to watch last minute. I was just like, I just need to watch a movie. I've seen I know who Christian Bale is. I've read Frankenstein. This is a super dope movie. I heard bad things about like Wuthering Heights with Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie. Not a terribly big fan of either of those actors. You know, actually, I'm a pretty big fan of Margot Robbie. I don't know why I said that. She was incredible in Barbie. They're actually doing a screening of it today because I think it's National Barbie Day as I'm recording this March 9th, or maybe it's tomorrow, March 10th, something like that. Oh no, tomorrow's National Mario Day because March 10th is like Mario. It looks like Mar and then IO because of 10. Oh, that's crazy. Maybe is National Mario Day on the same day as National Barbie Day? That's kind of crazy. Or are they before? Why is a man coming before a woman? Hold up. Oh wait, no, wait. March 10th is after. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm fried. Let's go back. So yeah, I decided to last minute watch The Ride. I think it's a fantastic movie. It's a phenomenal piece about womanhood, about what it means to like be a woman, a bride. Also like it touches a lot about just like being lonely, being human, the tragic experiences that come with life. That's ultimately going to come with a Frankenstein piece. I think it was beautifully done. I think Jessie Buckley absolutely stole the show. I think her acting, like being like possessed and like uh, having those sentimental moments, or really what's it called, uh, honest and connected moments with Mary Shelley's like ghosts that happened throughout. I guess spoiler alerts for the movie. It was a super great way to pay homage to Mary Shelley and everything she uh, ideally was writing for, or like had plans to write for. Honestly, I haven't gotten into much more of Mary Shelley's work after Frankenstein, if she has any or anything like that. But so I wouldn't be surprised if this was taking like a lot of inspiration from stuff that she wrote, or paid more attention to like who she was as a person, and ran with it, because I think this was a super dope sort of sequel, and it is pretty meta, and like acknowledging it is like a sort of sequel to like Frankenstein without being like awfully too official. I think it's a really fantastic film that really nails in the idea of life, but specifically being like a woman and having to I was gonna say come to terms with yourself, but I feel like that might be like even too broad of a way to put it. But I know it just had a lot to do with like purpose, life, and belonging. And so I highly recommend it. But that was a movie I decided to watch last minute, and I found myself like appreciating a shit ton. And I was on my way to watch that movie when I found the $7, and so I was like, this is okay, this is gonna be a great night, I guess. And I enjoyed it a shit ton. I think it was a phenomenal movie. 4 out of 5. I think I gave it on Letterboxd. I think I can't relate too much to the woman aspect of it, so I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that went over my head that I couldn't appreciate as much. And I also think I also kind of rolled my eyes sometimes with like the Mary Shelley thing, because I sort of understood the idea that this is like a message by women for women about women sort of thing. But at times it was just overdone sometimes, you know. And I'm gonna be as unbiased as possible. Any message delivered a little bit too much, I'm gonna be like, all right, we get it. You know what I mean? Women, you don't get a pass. I'm treating you just like men. Something about the wage gap. I can't think of anything funny. There's nothing funny about the wage gap. I don't know why I said that. Let's move on before I have to explain my side on politics. Fuck ICE. Fuck Donald Trump. All right, that's all I have to say. Yo, let me end this by saying, um, I really recommend you just go out there and do something, like make a decision, whether or not it's something like taking a different route to work, or again, like trying a new topping for a pizza or something like that, trying out a new food spot, or watching a new movie, like watching an episode of a new show or something. I know a friend of mine, I gotta stop referring to Neo as a friend of mine. Like I like the idea of anonymity, and like people of like me having multiple friends, and like different people having like different experiences. But like I really gotta, especially after yesterday, like me and Neo, like we low key are locked in like that. I gotta stop talking about it. I know my friend Neo is like thinking about wanting to watch a new show or something, or like start a new series, and he's just been like contemplating stuff. Maybe you just gotta just sit down and decide, like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch something. Maybe I don't need a reason to watch it. Maybe I just need to fucking just click this right here and sit down and watch it, and like decide how you feel about it afterwards. I don't know, man. This is me talking to you directly, Neo. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was gonna text you this, but I thought making a whole what is it now? 25-minute video. I thought that would be a little bit easier. So just consider this a voice note essentially. Yo, I'm done. I needed to record a video because I was enjoying my time a little too much, and I was like, I always regret not recording when I can. And it's fantastic to enjoy yourself and not like do work and stuff, but like you also need to be like, all right, cool. You need to draw a line in the sand and be like, all right, cool, but I'm not gonna do this. Like I can enjoy myself as much as I want. I can not work on music. I can be inspired and be lazy and procrastinate that all I want, but I can't procrastinate recording a video that's as easy as sitting down and talking that I am already gonna do to myself anyways. So that's it. Please again remember to like, subscribe. Uh, Hit the bell so you're notified whenever I upload. Let me know what your favorite burger is and make decisions. Let yourself enjoy stuff and make decisions, choose things. Just like don't be afraid, man. Like stop, you know what I mean? Like I always tell this to my friends and well, actually no, I told this to my friend. I got to stop overgeneralizing my statements. Like I really like come on, I can get checked on that any time of the week, but I remember telling my friend, not Neil this time, but I remember telling my friend that was worried about a decision or like really stressed out about a decision. Um, I remember like reminding him that like he already low key made it, like after the decision was made, and that in the grand scheme of things, as stressed as he was about the situation, in a few weeks it wouldn't matter, and that like it's all extremely relative, and now all that's like that isn't the best way to go about something like deciding which college you go to or deciding what to name your kid, obviously. But I mean, I think he was stressed about a decision on whether or not to take a certain class or something, and that's obviously also a fairly a fairly big decision. But I remember specifically how heavy and dark the cloud over his head was, or how heavy and dark he made the cloud over his head with how like stressed he was about the decision. And I was like, dude, I understand that you're stressed and you should be. It's a very important decision, but at the same time, I think you are also putting more weight on it than you can see. It's the idea of making a mountain out of a molehill. You know what I mean? Like you've got like a little mole that's like a slight problem, and you see it as like this Mount Everest, Kilimanjaro sort of um, impassable object that like it's great to proceed with caution, but like sometimes you can be being over prepared. Telling people that they can be over prepared is messed up when I'm underprepared as shit. So let me not say that. But sometimes it feels like people do too much, like an incredibly large amount for something that doesn't feel like its payout is equal. And that's only from watching. Like that's only just like from what I observed from the world and shit. So like whatever, everything rose tinted glasses by me. But sometimes it feels like people take shit incredibly more seriously than they have to when in 2 weeks it won't matter. And yes, with something like taking college classes, it does matter because like whether or not he passed or failed was going to dictate like the classes that he was going to take afterwards and stuff. But I think specifically when I was talking to him, I think he had more time. Um, Oh gosh, now that I'm saying that, I want to be like, you know what? Did he have time? Maybe it was like a week before he had to do the classes, and I was like telling him to be like more lenient about it than he should have been. But in my eyes, I think he had like a little bit more time, and he was like discussing whether or not he should. And I was like, dude, you have time to think this through and like really give this a fair shot and consider things and you don't have to make this like such an ultimatum at least immediately and like feel all this stress and weight and like looming impending doom sort of uh feeling like lingering feeling like along. You can just not just let me not say just, but you can like take a step back, breathe and see it through like a different lens or slightly wider scope. And yeah, I think I reminded him like a few weeks later, like, like how you called me a few weeks ago and you were like stressed or like no. a few years after, months after I called him. And I was like, "You remember how stressed you were about that call?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess kind of." And I was like, "See, like you're not like you're not even sweating it right now, and it meant like the world to you in the moment." And sometimes people need to understand that. Sometimes people need to understand that um the moment that you're facing is not the end all be all, and it's not the deciding factor of the world, and it's not going to be the thing that changes your life. There's very few moments in your life that change the trajectory of where you're going and the decisions you make that like cause you to, be from one point in your life to another point. Those don't happen all the time. So like what I was essentially trying to let him know is that like yes, this is an important decision you have to think about and face, but it's not going to be something that will make you an entirely different person. And that was sort of the energy he was sort of worrying about it with, as if like making this decision was gonna turn him into almost like a different person, or like was gonna affect the way he went about his life, was going to change his whole mindset essentially. And again, there are decisions that call for that, and there is very much so moments in your life where you have to be that and acknowledge that. But um, I think it's just always a great idea to take a step back and acknowledge that maybe the situation you're in isn't the end all be all, isn't the biggest, or maybe isn't as bad as you realize. You know what I mean? Relativity, comparing things to other things, that can also be a downfall. Yeah, I got socks on my birthday, that isn't too bad, but my cousin, who's only like a year older than me, got socks and underwear and like a robe. So it's just like, you know what, I guess it's cool that I got socks instead of nothing, but like, is it cool that I got socks instead of socks and underwear and a robe? Like, I don't know. So everything I say is like with a grain of salt. I'm constantly questioning and challenging everything I say just to make sure that I am covering all my bases. And even then, there's definitely people who don't feel represented in what I'm saying. And if you don't, fuck you. I don't like you. Leave this channel. No, I'm lying. I'm lying. I love you. I love you. Stop. Come on. Um, come back, please. No, okay, that's it. That's it. That's it. I really got to finish the video now. I needed to rant for a bit. I needed to talk about how good life was. I'm low key expecting to kick the bucket soon because like that's like $27 found in like the last month on the floor. Like that's ridiculous. Like I am on a list for sure. Not the Epstein list. Nothing like that. But like Def's gonna be knocking on my door. Whatever. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm gonna go watch Uncut Gems actually because I think I just recorded a video, or I just uploaded a video where I talked about Spider Verse being better than Uncut Gems, and I hadn't watched Uncut Gems, but that was like weeks ago, months ago. I think you can tell by that by my haircut. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Go listen to. Oh wait, hold up. Let me go. Let me go. Go listen to Mary a Skater by Ray Bull. Raybull. Two dope musicians. They used to do like mashups on TikTok and stuff. And I saw them not too long ago with like a little short like music TikTok video to one of their songs, Mary a Skater. And I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And funnily enough, they recorded that music video. They taped like a phone on a train, and it was going from the Hughes station to the Marcy train station on in Williamsburg, and that's like the station I get off to. Get off to what? That's the station I get off at where I work, and so it was super dope seeing that. And I realized like, oh man, I recognize these two. They used to do like mashup covers of like songs on TikTok that sort of like sounded the same. I'm like blanking on like songs that that they used as examples, but yeah, like Circles by Post Malone and The Killers by Mr. Brightside, I think was one or something like that. That was a super dope one. And I remember seeing them like years ago, and like now seeing all of a sudden they had this single out, and I was like, that's fantastic. And yesterday I was out with my homie Neo, and the sky was just absolutely beautiful. I was going home and I was listening to that song, and I was like, this is just a fantastic night. Again, life is fantastic. Please enjoy it as you can. That's it. I gotta stop literally dragging out the video longer and longer than it has to be. I love you guys. Enjoy. See you next time. Whatever. Bye.